Guess who's back? Well, after a pretty brief break here, I was able to go get a couple drinks of water and just kind of refresh myself a little bit. And in that interim, this storm that you see right behind me here was going pretty much due east, and it's made a nice little turn to the south. And to the south of where this storm is a very large metro area, the Houston area. I know tons of you guys have been asking about when Houston's going to get hit, and we weren't really sure when that was going to come down. And it's very possible, maybe not Houston itself, but the areas just north of Houston, like Conroe, Magnolia, and a couple of these suburbs here, Tomball area, that's been kind of creeping north in the past couple of years. It looks like the storm is heading in that general direction. So let's just jump right into it, guys. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of this storm here, and bring it up here on radar. And I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, and we see. I'm gonna roll the radar back. See the storm? I'm gonna go back far enough. It was the south of College Station, and now it's starting to turn to the south and to the east, southeast a little bit. And it's pretty much right now the way it's going. I'd say it is on a crash course with the town of Conway, Texas. That is just to the north of the Houston area, so it's still part of the Houston metro area, one of the towns off to the north here, and it is currently dropping. I'd say probably not super gigantic, like baseball size hail or anything. At least right now, it's looking like, based off of how we see on the CC returns, which for some reason it seems like it's kind of backscattering way off to the north. Not entirely sure why the radar is doing that. We're getting closer. It should be okay by now. But from what we're just looking at on different things here, we're guessing right now probably upwards of golf ball size hail, but a ton of golf ball size hail. Very high volume storm. And this is going to be continuing off to, again, to the east, southeast right now. Obviously, if this thing starts to take a bigger turn north, or not north, excuse me, steeper turn to the south, instead of going towards Conroe, it will move into just the northern suburbs of the Houston metro. So again, we're watching this very carefully. It's the main reason why we came back on here. This storm managed to make the great journey, basically, and making that little bit of a turn made it so it's getting a lot closer to the area. Okay. Okay. Oh, thanks for liking the intro music, guys. It's actually license-free music, but I do put the song credit up in the upper right-hand corner. So if you guys want to go check out the guy's SoundCloud, he has a whole bunch of music. Okay. Nickel report. Okay, so we got a nickel size report coming in, Pete and nickel size. So this increases the question of how big is this hail actually? How much of, so it's warned for tennis balls, which I think is a little overdone for what this storm is. A nickel report comes in. I don't think Frank has seen any pictures yet. I know it's in a pretty rural area right now, but we're just continuing to watch this. We're going to watch how big is this high volume hail going to get? Is it going to be up golf ball size hail? Is it going to be a little less than that? Either way, we're watching it as it gets closer to people here. And will this storm also strengthen a bit more as this thing continues to move to the south and to the east here? I would appreciate. Hey, the storm, the San Antonio storm, the picture you sent, that was a bunch of pea-sized hail kind of stuck together. That is not what we need for the big time. The quarter-size hail needs to be one solid stone, multiples of the one solid stone that we're looking at for this. So, but again, we're watching the storm, seeing how it's going, what direction it's moving in. A recap of other stuff that's happened in this storm. That this north split here had a 3-inch report on it. We had multiple 3-inch storms, and now that storm is beginning to finally weaken as it's moving north, actually towards College Station. Another storm heading that way. Elsewhere, Dallas area, you guys are done. Austin area, you guys are done. San Antonio, you guys aren't going to really see anything further south. That storm managed to get to the Gulf of Mexico and die right away. A couple of these other storms, as the sun's going down, are starting to fizzle out, but this one storm looks like it's strong enough that it's going to maintain itself as it gets towards the Houston area. Okay. Okay. All right, where else? I've never seen hail before. Show me the hell. Further north, also, we have some storms trying to form in the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. This stuff, I think, for the most part, is going to stay sub-severe, but there are some indications that later on this evening we could see some storms forming in Oklahoma. A big question is where and how strong it's going to be. I think any storms that do get their acts together, if they move through Oklahoma City, for example, I don't think we'd see anything over very marginally severe hail. I think it'd be mostly sub-severe, with maybe the strongest updrafts if we get anything to stay kind of isolated, maybe upwards to $1/4 to $1/2 size hail. But for the most part, I think Oklahoma City, we're just getting some much needed rain out of that system later on today. Across the southeast, I think this really wasn't going to be much of anything, and there isn't much now. And yeah, the big story is just this one storm that we're watching. Oh, wow. As I said, the storm was weakening. We had a golf ball report come in. So I guess maybe that storm is not so... Oh, yeah. When I look on radar, the storm's actually going quite well here. Yeah, man, boy, this storm is hauling along. Updated the warning to still for just tennis ball size hail as we're moving towards the Conroe area. I'm also going to keep an eye on this north split storm. It is heading straight for College Station. College Station, you guys missed earlier, it's on our map. Maybe if Derek gets onto the chat, he can link the map on there and I can pin it at the top. So you guys, if you're watching this, you want to go get the map. If it includes the College Station storm that happened earlier, had up with a tennis ball size hail, and they honestly might get hit again if this thing can hold its own as it moves closer to College Station here. So we'll be able, you guys can just click on that link. Derek! Okay, yeah, he's doing it now. And I'll pin that to the top of the chat so you guys can just click on that link if you want to go and check out the map. If you want to go purchase it, if you haven't been a customer before, you can go check that out. And if you're a subscriber with us, you can just go and watch us map this storm live as it's occurring. But yeah, golf ball size hail on this storm, the north split that we've been watching for a few hours now, and it is just barreling towards College Station, so they might get a second storm of the day. Houston area storm right now. Oop, no, CC's had a little jump on that one. Really seeing, I can't tell if this thing, let's see here, 2.81, 2.43. We can't tell if it's in the weakening process, if it's cycling, what it's doing. Either way, it's now in Montgomery County, moving into the Montgomery area. And once we get towards Conroe, we'll be sending out push notifications if needed for this storm as it's moving towards the area here. We've had a history of nickel size reports saying P to nickel and P to penny size hail, yet the radar is saying otherwise, so we're kind of just watching and seeing where this goes. John's froze, but the audio is good. Whoops. Sorry if the video feed is being kind of jumpy right now. I'm not sure why my computer may not be, what's going on with my computer that's not liking it. Let me just check on it real quick here. Oh, shoot, that's why. Hang on, I didn't close out a couple things. Yeah, all right, hang on guys. Should fix itself in a minute here. Honestly, I'm gonna kind of keep watching this the storm as it moves towards College Station. This is looking pretty good right now and kind of surprising. PDR size hail, please, says Art Gregory. I think we might get that for this storm. So yeah, College Station might get a second hit here. The storm's moving very quickly and directly towards College Station, and it looks like it weakened for a little while and it has re-strengthened as it continues to move through the area. Man, there must have been some kind of boundary in this area or something today. There are a bunch of big time storms here this evening. Man. Okay, I think, well, now that I'm seeing this higher up, I think this storm heading towards Conroe might be, yeah, I think the storm is just cycling. You can see here, all right, in this most recent frame, you see like a new little hook is coming in. And more importantly, we're seeing now, or actually seeing a CC drop here. And I wonder if I go into the 3D mode. Let's see, hang on, let me go back. It looks like we're having some hail fallout possibly happening with this storm here. And that might be why we're getting a CC drop in the greens. So we might be seeing more than just the high volumes of marginally severe hail that was being reported previously. Okay, but anyway, this storm is continuing to chug along to the east, possibly east-southeast, heading towards Conroe. Again, you can see here when I have the roads lit up, we're actually getting to some population versus just cow country, and so that's why we're watching this very carefully. This could be the first storm of the year for the Houston area. In general, not Houston itself, but places just to the north. Conroe hail size, we're watching it right now. Okay. Okay, Rudy, where is the hail size going right now? I think well, this is the best looking CCs we've seen on this storm so far. So I think, well, oh, and then it disappeared for a second. So I wonder what's going on with this storm. Either way, it seems to be expanding south a little bit, so it may cover a good chunk of the central inner loop section here of Conroe in the next, probably, it's moving pretty quick. It's probably in the next 20 minutes or so. And once it gets to that population center, we'll probably get a lot more reports. We can see more pictures, get a better idea of what's falling out of this system right now. Okay, I'm going to jump back over to the storm that might be going towards College Station, and it looks like, oh my God, this friggin' thing is strengthening. Oh boy, that's good. Good stuff. All right, I gotta load a county here first so I can see the roads on here. All right, just give me 1 second, guys. 51. There we go. So right now it's in the town of Snook, and we're approaching College Station very quickly. You can see, if I move out of the way, you can see the CCs are pretty low in here. This has had a history of dropping upwards of 3-inch hail. I don't think that's what's falling right now, but probably more golf ball size hail, similar possibly to what we had earlier in the College Station area. So possibly two storms for the price of one today, as this storm is rocketing straight for College Station, possibly in areas that had just been hit not that long ago, and it doesn't look like it's weakening at all. And it's very close to College Station now, so it will be there very soon. Conroe, yeah, Conroe has a pretty good thing. Do I need to park in the garage in Conroe? I would, just for the sake of being careful, if you guys, I would probably put my car in the garage if I were you. Just better safe than sorry is what I'm thinking right now. Okay. Yeah, okay, this storm is entering into Brazos County, or Brazos, whichever one the pronunciation is. The Texans can correct me. And it's moving pretty much, you can just see it coming like right up into College Station very soon, possibly in the same basic areas that got hit earlier today. There's some videos that we've seen of the hail. I don't have it available to view right now, but we can view that in a little bit. Jumping back over the storm over by Conroe, and this, whoop. Oh, the warning's gone. Another 0.75 report came in. So, let's see here. What is this storm doing? Seems like the National Weather Service doesn't even know what it's doing because they just let this warning expire. Very, very interesting here. All right, okay, they've also updated the Storm Prediction Center has updated their risk for hail, the main area being here across North Houston area. I think they're expecting these storms to continue moving eastward into far western parts of Louisiana. And again, more storms this evening across portions of Oklahoma. And probably this is for early tomorrow morning, if I were to venture a guess, across southern Mississippi and southern Alabama, and possibly even into Arkansas as well tonight. Do we get another warning for this thing? That's crazy. Oh, got a warning. I don't know if they're going to rewarn this storm. We're sitting in some little bit of limbo here. The thing hasn't looked crazy. I mean, we're missing the bottom of the storm. A lot of melting going on. Okay, all right. I think that a warning came in. Yeah, because there's gotta be severe hail in there. Let's see what the storm. Let's see the National Weather Service. Nope, that's the warning for College Station. To golf ball size hail. So we're gonna put a hold on this storm here for just a minute while we try to figure out what's exactly is going on, and we're gonna shift our attention over to, whoops, I don't want to do that, to the College Station area as the storm is moving in now. Just to the south of College Station, you see pretty clearly on radar here where the severe hail is. Everywhere here in the greens and the blues. So here's College Station right in here, and just to the south we have hail, probably upwards of golf ball size hail moving through the area. I wouldn't be surprised if even a couple stones were a little bigger than that as it moved in. Wish the hail would have been bigger in Round Rock. We have pea size and smaller. And it looks like we are now getting our push notifications for severe hail happening across the College Station area as this storm is beginning to move through, again with golf ball size hail in this section here, and continuing to move north and east. Man, they still didn't rewarn that storm. I wonder, that is interesting. I wonder what's going on in that. Okay, I wonder if the storm heading to, okay, so it looks like we're getting some significant weakening now in the storm heading towards Conroe, which is probably why they haven't rewarned it yet. Radar had a little bit of a lagging issue and now is catching up, and I think maybe just the fact that we're losing the heating of the day, the storm might be beginning to fall apart a little bit here as we're heading towards Conroe. Right now in Montgomery, I think they're probably still seeing smaller hail coming in, so maybe the Houston area is going to sneak away. Yeah, man, this thing's falling apart fast. So I think the Houston area may sneak away without anything going on tonight here. But we do have a storm currently moving into College Station for the second time today. Again, 2 hits in one day here. So we have probably up to golf ball size hail across, what's this road here? This is like Raymond. Yeah. And I think, hang on, I'm gonna look a little more into the storm by Conroe. It looks like it might be kind of collapsing a little bit here. So it's either dropping all its hail and gonna re-strengthen, or it is dying. Either way, we're obviously gonna keep watching it, and I'm going to just focus on this College Station storm for now because that one is ongoing and we know for sure that one's dropping bigger hail. You can see here it's heading generally towards Conroe. It's either cycling or collapsing, one of the two.
Yeah, oh yeah, that last one looks like it's...
Yeah, so I'll be...
We'll
yeah, I'm what?
Oh, got a little shower going on under it, but it was cycling.
Yeah. Yeah,
but...
Yeah, this is dropping big hail. Yeah, so these north split storms, like we saw way back earlier, a couple hours ago even, they have a tendency to just keep going for a really long time and dropping big hail for a really long time. So even though this area got worked over, this storm is continuing to just move through with a swath here of upwards of golf ball size hail. Potentially, well, yeah, probably about golf ball size hail, I'd say, as it moves into College Station. Right now we're seeing this latest frame. It's now in the southwestern parts of College Station, like places like along North Dowling Road or along the Harvey Mitchell Parkway south. I think those areas you're seeing some hail now. And I wouldn't be surprised if this also wasn't as high volume as the storm that was earlier today. The storm earlier today was very high volume of hail. I think this one is going to be more a lot of rain with hail mixed into it. That is going to be larger. Again, typically that's what we see for north splits. You see bigger hail, a little more isolated, and the storm really hauling off to the north and to the west. Okay, dear Box, praise God for still kicking off the season. Yeah, I've watched thousands of storms hit small town Texas through the years. Always a little disappointing when it doesn't produce in actual populated towns. True, that can be a little disappointing. I mean, for the restoration industry, I know for the average folk that's a good thing, but for here, all right. So we're seeing the storm as it continues to just push further north. I bet we'll get another radar update in a moment. Elsewhere, let's see. What else do we have going on? We got this one little storm. It seems to just continue to be moving along here by Hallettsville. This is way out in the middle of Texas where there aren't a ton of people. I remember driving through here when we were going to Hurricane Harvey last year, and it was a pretty quiet area. Elsewhere, they seem to be warning these storms just for some marginally severe hail as we're moving towards Jasper and Center. I wonder what that warning's for. What got warned? I heard it. And then further to the north, more storms are beginning to fire. Okay, there we go. We rewarned the storm heading into Conroe now. What did they go with? They went with tennis balls. I think they're just right. Yeah, the storm's falling apart here, heading towards Conroe. I think, again, unless the Storm Prediction Center or the National Weather Service has information that we don't know or is working off of old information. The storm right now does not look very good. Like, yeah, right now it doesn't look that great here. It's rewarned, but unless it is cycling. If it is cycling, then, you know, we could see some big change in tune here. But right now, I think we're obviously going to keep watching the storm as it's moving towards Conroe. But at the moment, I don't think it's dropping severe hail. Of course, at that point, then we'll get some crazy big report to come in, and I'll be like, oh, I was wrong. Never mind. But right now, I'm saying it's not dropping severe hail. The thing that is dropping severe hail is this storm right here across College Station. I think it might be kind of either cycling or starting to weaken a little bit as we're moving through College Station. I think the fact that it's moving through an area that was worked over so much from a storm earlier might begin to weakening the storm, but hey, it adds a few more hail hits to areas that were hit earlier on this evening. Yeah, I think this storm might also be beginning to weaken a little bit as it's going into an already worked over area of the atmosphere. Okay, other questions people have. Been dancing for weeks now. Time to do hail dances, my friends. Boggs, you stay in Florida. Okay. All right. Do you think it'll head into Shreveport? Let's see. I don't think storms are going to make it that far north up to Shreveport. Rob, I think things are going to stay pretty much south of Carthage. And again, Dallas area is completely done. And storms here up further north in the Oklahoma area, that'll be later on. But, okay. Man, I can't believe they warned that thing for friggin' tennis balls. That's crazy. Okay, so it's looking... Oh, did my camera die? No, okay. Last frame here, a little more interesting. You see a little bit of a hook. The storm might be trying to re-strengthen a little bit. It's either trying to re-strengthen, regain its updraft, and possibly start making big hail again, or it's just its last gasp before it dies out as it then goes and moves through Conroe, and then the Houston area has to wait for the next event. So again, we're watching, we're here and talking, and just kind of see where this stuff goes. We already have quite a bit of activity today. For those of you who are watching for the first time right now, College Station right here was hit with hail upwards of tennis ball size, probably about 2 hours ago now. I've kind of lost track of time while I'm up here talking, but a couple hours ago, a storm hit College Station with upwards of tennis ball size hail. Huntsville, Texas also got hit with large hail, probably very high volumes of hail. And okay, yeah, now the College Station storm, it looks like it's finally starting to kind of fall apart a little bit here, and I think it's just doing a hail dump in the western sides of the city. This area was hit earlier today, so we're just adding some more hail hits from what happened earlier, and the storm will continue to move to the north and move out of the area in the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. Where else got hit today? A couple other towns. The big storm that it was forecast to be around Dallas ended up being further south of Dallas, and moved through mostly rural areas. I think it was at its strongest over a lake. And then other storms, we had a storm get kind of close to Austin, didn't really strengthen enough to actually go severe, and same for the San Antonio area. The meat and potatoes of the storms definitely were the College Station area, and further earlier in the Huntsville area as well. Oh, we got a report here. Somebody said, small amount has fallen, not very steady. So it sounds like this storm from a chaser that was reported right along here, right in the core here, that it was up to nickel-sized hail, and it wasn't very steady, and it wasn't a whole lot of hail. So I think this might be all she wrote. I might have given this storm the kiss of death when I decided to come back up here on the stream. It happens sometimes. Hopefully it doesn't happen too much this season, or you guys are going to start dreading seeing me coming up on a video. But it's looking like this storm might start trying to peter out, but keep an eye on it to see if it re-strengthens any, since it is in Conroe right now. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of rain, some gusty winds, and hail upwards of nickel-sized hail. It is warned for tennis balls. I believe the tennis balls is a bit of an overreaction, for an exaggeration from the National Weather Service based out of the Houston area, because that is not dropping hail that big right now, for show. Okay. And jumping back over to the College Station storm, yeah, it's definitely starting to kind of weaken a bit as it's moving through the area, and or it might just be cycling. I think this thing's cycled a couple times now, so it'll keep moving north. It'll move through College Station, and once we get north of College Station, I don't think there's a whole lot of population other than I-45. Yeah, and then it'll probably die before it gets to places like Palestine and Tyler and stuff. So I think that is going to be, this storm's last gasp after a couple hours of shooting north, now moving through the southern parts of College Station. This is the exact same area that was hit earlier today. So they're just getting some additional hail hits, some insult to injury, adding insult to injury, I guess, for a lot of folks in this area. Okay. So here, okay, Jeremy, what's going on? Basically, we're covering a storm, another storm moving through the College Station area, and we were watching a storm that was heading towards Conroe. If I roll it back, it was looking pretty good. And now, as it got closer to the actual population here in the Conroe area, it has since very much so fallen apart. It does not look good at all anymore. I think might stick a fork in that one. She might be done. So you're going to see some rain, some smaller hail. If you guys were thinking about putting your car in the garage, I think you're fine now. This is not that big of a deal anymore. And otherwise in the Houston area, I don't think there's really much to speak of. I think sun's going down. The main triggering mechanism for a lot of these storms today was definitely just the fact that there was a lot of heating today. So once you get rid of that element of the equation in the Houston area, it kind of killed everything pretty quickly here. And I think that's part of what happened here in the Conroe area with the storm as it fell apart. Further to the north, looks like the storm north of Livingston is trying to take off, but it's in a bit, it might be closer to a different radar, because right now it looks kind of junky. I think the Houston radar is just a little too far away for me to see it pretty well. I think it's warned for ping pong balls. I bet it's might be dropping close to that, maybe a little smaller, like quarter, $half size hail. And nothing severe in here. Got a quarter report just came in for the College Station storm. Doesn't surprise me. I think nickel to quarter size in the far southeast section. I think, yeah, this storm is definitely starting to weaken quite a bit. And they removed the warning in Conroe. That was probably a good call. That storm is dying. Sorry to get you guys a little hyped up, but when you see a storm like this heading towards people, you gotta Got to go and get the word out there. That's, yeah, this storm is dying. I think this stuff is going to slowly kind of fizzle out, and this north split will die eventually as we get further and further upwards and onwards. And then, oh, we got a warning up here. We got a warning in southwestern Kansas. We're up to quarter size hail. I don't know if that's it's dropping. Yeah, I don't think it's dropping quarter size hail. Just looking at it on this map. Yeah, and then yeah, I think the storm called station is starting to peter out now as it continues to move to the north. So with that, I think things are winding down. And what turned out to be a fairly busy day. We were expecting storms in the Dallas area, and we got storms further south along I-35. Again, you can check out the map. I have it link pinned at the top of the comment section here on Facebook. And if you're watching on our app or on the website, I mean, you guys can just go check it out right now because you're already there. And otherwise, looking ahead at tomorrow, it looks like we could see some pretty potent storms in the vicinity of here in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. The biggest question marks for the day tomorrow is how far north will all this moisture get? Will it get up to the Nashville area? Will Nashville be in play for the storms tomorrow? We're going to have to just kind of see what happens in the morning to see where just the low pressure center that's causing all these storms right now, where that's going to be at. If it's going to be far enough north for the moisture to pull up to Nashville, and then, you know, they'll all go for some storms. And then the other big question mark is this wedge front, which is just cold air off of the mountains here. Will this cold air stop at Atlanta, or will it get a little further north to the South Carolina border? That makes a world of difference. If this cold air gets up to the South Carolina border, then Atlanta has a chance for seeing some supercells during the day, during the evening. And if not, then it'll stay further west across Alabama. I think the northern half of Alabama, barring any sort of weird, crazy events going on tonight where there's storms down on the coast or in the Gulf of Mexico, anything to cut off the moisture, I think northern Alabama, you got from like Birmingham up to the border through like Huntsville and stuff, I think you guys are going to have potentially a pretty potent situation tomorrow with some possibly big tornadoes and big time hail and everything. We'll have the full forecast for you guys tomorrow morning. Normally we do them at noon. I think I might do a little bit earlier depending on how things are looking in the morning. If a storm is starting to fire real early, obviously I'm going to try to get on here and get that forecast out to you as fast as possible. And if not, and things are going to be quiet and waiting till later in the afternoon, then I'll do my forecast normally at noon. We'll send out a push notification nonetheless, so keep an eye out for that when we do our forecast video tomorrow. Got a question asked here. Do you think Memphis is in play tomorrow? I think Memphis, if you see something, it's going to be in the morning because the storm system is going to be moving through. So if there are storms, if storms fire pretty early, then yeah, Memphis could be in play. If not, it might just be just to your east. You could see storms forming, like say, was this Jackson or something? Yeah, Jackson, Tennessee, for example, or Jackson, Mississippi, just the east there, and then going across this basic area. Look how my fingers are extended. So that's what we're looking at right now for tomorrow. Again, I'll have the full forecast out tomorrow once we get all the model data in from tonight and how conditions are panning out tomorrow morning. So we'll have a full forecast for that either at noon or whenever we decide to do the video and send out a push notification earlier than that. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. It's been a crazy little day here, and I think if you have any other further questions, we can answer them in the chat below. I saw somebody ask about Arkansas. I think Arkansas, you could see some isolated marginally severe hail tonight, late night tonight. Again, it'd be kind of similar to what Oklahoma may see tonight, of just like around $quarter to $half size hail. I don't think anything much larger than that. Probably mostly sub-severe hail. The $quarter to $half size hail would be pretty isolated. And that is it. When's Oklahoma going to get hail? Might be some tonight. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy though. Probably only $quarter to $half size. Looking into next week, so once we get past this system tomorrow and possibly a little bit on Tuesday, but mostly tomorrow, there'll be a couple days break, and then I think we're going to reload and going into the next weekend, and then afterwards things are going to be much more busy more consistently. Moisture is going to be readily available in the area, so that makes it easier for storms to occur. So a lot to look forward to. The storm season is just getting started, and we'll be here all season to cover it all. In the meantime, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm leaving meteorologist John Choquette. I'll go get a drink of water, and I'll see you tomorrow.